debate or reporting in progress. And actually, they are in progress right now of forming a new college, as we call it, with we don't know how many aldermen. Last 4 years, we had 10 aldermen, which is quite a lot. The board actually has support from the civil servants we have in the city, and that's 14,000 FTE, or at 17,000 of colleagues that I have, and 150 of them actually are in direct support of the city council. So you can say that's not really fair, but on the other hand, all the work that's been done outside, cleaning the streets, handing the passports, from all the societal stuff, that's all being done, of course, by my colleagues. We're organized in clusters, as we call them. Every cluster has its specialty. So we have the stadsontwikkeling, they're about development of the city. Stadsbeheer, about maintaining the city, and so on. Those clusters have around 50 managing boards, and we have around 200 departments in our city. So, and when you all count it up, so the organization consists of more than 1,000 teams. That also means that there are actually more than 1,000 managers. A short piece on the history of the digitalization in the municipality. Let's say from the second half of the 2010s, we had two programs. It's called informatiegestuurd werken and also gegevensmanagement. It's pretty hard to translate those terms in English, but the first one is more about how you make use of information in the way you organize your work. And the other one is more about data. And since 2018, they are both combined in a new program, which is still quite important in our municipality. It's called data-gedreven werken, data-driven, well, way of working, you can say. And what they mostly do is that they make use of use cases. It's really a bottom-up way of organizing, show them and bring that actually as a sort of bridge function between all the clusters and between all the managing boards, etc. Also, we have the digitaliseringsagenda. It's more of a top-down agenda to to make a next step as an organization as a whole. In digitalization, and yeah, well, as it mostly comes from top down, it's more organized in projects. Since 2020, we also have the advanced analytics team, which helps the civil servants in more predictive analytics and stuff like that. It's actually really coming up, so to say, and they are probably going to make use a lot of the analytic platform that we are actually building right now in SAS. And like everything in our municipality, it gets a name. And this one's called Dapper, which means brave actually in Dutch, but it's a abbreviation for something. And then we have the two, let's say, the people who really make the digital instruments. We have OBI, and they're the BI teams. So they make all the information products, all the business intelligence products. And we have the RAD, Rapid Application Development. And those people mostly make, let's say, more the applications. And that's actually where Mendix and the gemeente combine, because they make use of Mendix developers. Well, on the other hand, OBI mostly make use of the Cognos developers or Power BI and some SAS Vaya. We had let's say, we had a concerned dashboard. In 2015, we went over to one administration, and why this is relevant, I will show you in the next sheet. Then something from my own Directie Middelen and Control, as it's called. It's quite hard to translate. I'm going to take a short nap. Sip. Nap. Nip, yeah. So, Middelen and Control, we had a mission statement, and it says that we are here, we're in the organization to help our organization in decision making, control, and accountability, so that means can be realized with the available resources. Well, that sounds really good, and that's what my direct colleagues every day try to do. And helping, well, means mostly handing or actually showing risks to managers, but also make sure that they have the right information, the right management information. And that's actually why we're here today as well. We saw that it was quite splintered in the organization. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's good. And what we what the management team then decided, that they said, well, we need to have a project that's going to make sure that the management information is getting better, not only for the internal managing, but also for the, and it's called P&C producten, also for the city council and for the board. So there were, well, as you can see, 3 key results on the project. We want to have a hard link between internal management and external accountability, so that there's no difference in how the organization is managing internal and the way that we are accountable external. We wanted to have one set of instruments with standardized management information, because, like I said, it was quite splintered. So we want to have that standardized, that we only, well, we work from, let's say, one definition of when somebody's ill, you know, the ill rates or stuff like that, because it was not really standardized. There's a short overview. I didn't translate it, but just to show you that the big project consists of many sub projects underneath, and the first 2 are relevant for now. Like I said earlier, we already had a dashboard meant for our managers. As you can see, we had more than 1,000 teams, so over 1,000 managers, and they need management information. But the old dashboard actually was built for 2 different means. And from the information theory, it's actually not really the right way to do it, because you need 2 different instruments for the both means. So the first one, we said we're going to split it up. And the first one is the report generator. It's called the UVR. It's the uniforme voortgangsrapportage. And the meaning of a report is that you look back in a set of interval of time that you upfront know when you look back. You look back on aggregated data, in this case on full months. And the purpose of that report is not a direct managing question, but it's more about discussing the progress. Know where you are in getting to your means, and have a good conversation between managers and advisors, or manager and a director. And it's mostly meant to learn, and of course also to managing, but more based on an analysis. And that, on the contrary, with the KPI dashboard, which is just really short time, individual. As a manager, I look at it, and in 10 seconds, I know what I need to do or not. So that's a big difference. And today I'm going to show you something about the reports generator that we made, because it's really something different from a KPI dashboard. We choose to do it in Mendix, and that's because of like I told you, the RAD, the Rapid Application Development Team, they supported that, but also because it's not really on the shelf. There's not a product that would come even close to all the ideas that we had to incorporate in the tooling that we wanted. So we had to build it ourselves, or at least ask Jean to build it for us, but okay. But yeah, we should made it from scratch, because there's nothing comparable on the market. And the application that is being fed with aggregated data that comes from our central data warehouse. So there's no privacy issue in here. Everything is aggregated, so it's not individual. It's only let's say the lowest granularity is the lowest team aggregate that there is available in the data. We have different hierarchies that we work with. We have the hierarchy of the organization. We also have the hierarchy, or different financial hierarchies, so to say. And the application should be robust enough, flexible enough to handle with the different hierarchies. It also should support the process of analyzation, and like I said, that's a key big difference in information, because it's not only about the hard figures, which you can actually see in the KPI dashboard, but it's more about the analysis that different advisors make for the manager, to give the manager a kind of perspective on what to do, also some perspective as well, and the application, the key figure is that it supports this process. So it should support all the analyzation that the advisors make and the enrichment of the data that they make. Well, that's the other one is of course makes quite a lot of sense. The manager should be able to log in and view the reports, of course. So there should be some email function in there as well. A key figure also is that it's what we want as an organization, as a part of the organization, as a control organization, is an integrated management report. But that means that all the different owners of the data, so finance, HRM, also all kind of legal data, all that we call most operation data stuff, all those different owners should have the same process. Well, we're not right there now, and it's as we call it, a stip on the horizon, a dot on the horizon, which is really stupid translation, but it's something that we want to grow to. But for now, it should be, let's say, flexible enough to support all the different processes that the different data owners want to put in there. Because the advisors are the ones who know the data and who know the process. So they are the ones who do the analyzation, and they are also the ones that, well, they're going to use it for that. So they're the only one who know what they're looking at. So it's quite crucial that their process is being supported. And like I said, the outcome, that report, is the basis for discussion. A bit of the architecture high over. On the left side, you see all kind of feeding source systems going to the central data warehouse, where we create all kinds of facts and dimensions. And then the output, like I said, is the aggregated files. They are CSV files, so it's quite usual format, so to say. And outside, you see the line in the middle. On the left side of the line, it's the internal, safe environment, so to say, and outside is it's outside our own environment. So the files are being put on an FTP server, and Mendix reads from that FTP server. So the Mendix application reads from the server. But also we want to support the analyzation process, and then you need details. So there's also a possibility to put links in the application to go back into the safe environment where detailed information is being available, but also behind authorization. In the end, it's template based, so all the process owners can make their own templates, and we created a lot of different roles from supporting the different processes that the process or data owners had. The reports right now can have 3 different stages, and the last point, you expect it when you talk about a uniform report. You expect that a uniformity is uniform, but it's definitely not in our organization. Like I said, we have 6 different clusters. We have 50 or 200 teams. I mean, it's ridiculous, and everybody wants his own, his own column of data, or the way it's being presented. It's so you have always this tension between uniformity, which you know because you use the same definition, same data, etc. But also the ownness, as to say, that the manager is used to get a form of information which he or she feels good at. So that is actually kind of a building demand that's quite ambiguous. Because we said to John, we want it as flexible as possible, but on the other hand, we don't want to use the flexibility in the organization. So, and that he will go in the technical details of that in a second. So for now, I think it's good that I show you where we are right now with the UVR. I'm going to demo it a little bit. What you see here is the login screen, and it's kind of standard for the way that the Mendix applications are built for the municipality. And you log in actually with the red button, and then it knows who I am. And because I'm a super user, I get a lot of more than the regular advisor gets to see. But we start let's see, we start with the editions, and here you can see all the editions that are being made, editions of the reports. Like I said, it's template based, so you can make a template, and in the template you make the connection between the data files and the way they are represented in the report. You also make a decision on which level of the organizational hierarchy you want to have your reports. You can choose the teams, or you can choose the departments, or whatever you want to choose. And in the templates, you also make the decision who you give authority for the different reportings. But for now, it's good if I show you just something. I made a really a nice spring flowery picture on it. And on the left side, you see all the different, there are some doubles in there, but that's technical. I think John will explain it later. But on the left side, you see all the different, in this case, departments, where a report is being made based on this template. So let's take one. And in this case, we look at a financial report. As you can see, Fink. And on the left side, you can see all the different chapters they defined in the template. Every green chapter has data. The other ones doesn't have data or are being switched off for this edition. Now, we can just look how it looks like. This is one of the file, how you call it, chapters in here. Here's another one. As you can see, they are all tables. But the point is that with actiepunten, all the advisors can put in an actiepunt. It's like some sort of, I wouldn't say it's a real hard demand for a manager to do something, but it's really it's like the basis is a conversation. So they make an agreement on that the manager should do something to get the financials right. As you can see, it's my tasks is this tab, and it shows what I have to do. And here you can see also the button for the different stages, so to say. And on the left, you see again all the chapters with all the underneath, as we call paragraphs. A little red line here says that I have to do something. It also says niet gereed, not finished. And we can maybe do this one is green, it's already voorlopig gereed. So we can here's the flexibility. Some of the columns that you can see can be switched off. The owner of the template defines which columns can be switched off by each individual advisor, and which are mandatory for everyone in the organization. And underneath, you see this is like a traffic light. It bundles, when you're done altogether, all the traffic lights on top, and you can focus actually with the conversation on the red ones, of course, or the orange ones. There's also more flexibility built in. It says this paragraph is optional, so you can switch it off if you want. Then it goes to gray here. I can turn it on again. Here I can put my advice. So I said, looks good. Also from previous editions, you can see more action points that are still not finished, or from the last one, which are done. And here you can say it. I cannot give it, of course, I cannot say it's finished because there's a red indication and I didn't define a action point. So when I say it's green, I can say it's okay. So this in a nutshell how the my tasks work. The core, like I said, is the template, and this is the template that we were looking at the report at. Here you can see all again the same chapters. Only now you can see them the way they are defined. So here is a lot of text in there. See, I want to show you where you can see where the data comes from. It was a bit too fast. Go back. Here you can see the name of the file. So this is the source file that's being read with the aggregated data. And by pushing this thing here, I can decide which column I want to show in the different editions that are made from this template. Over here, I can also, well, use them but not show them. Here I can make them optional, like I said before. You can also, well, give it another name you wish, because it sounds different here. We can make use of filters, so just Boolean type of filtering. Here is the logic for the traffic lights. It's also quite advanced now, so it really works good. And there's really a lot to show you here. You see all kinds of ways that you can well, show the figures in 1,000 or not. For financial data, most of the time it's in the thousands, of course. But you can also define it in an individual column if you wish. The detailed reports, you can see them here. Like I said, that was the link back to our secured environment. Those are detailed reports made in Cognos Analytics. It's mostly list work, so to say, but it's you can give a parameter back from the application, from the UVR, so that when the Cognos report opens, you can only see the detailed data which corresponds to the organization that you are working on right now. So that makes use of the hierarchy that's beneath it all. So there's really a lot to say. I think this is for now enough, and it's I hope, well, it triggers you maybe in your own work if you have customers who are thinking about reporting, and well, maybe it helps. And I think that Jean might give you some more inspiration on the technical difficulties and how to solve them, because it was not easy to make it. So for now, thank you. Yeah, the question is, it's fully digital or is it printable? Make paper. It was a question to have a printable, originally PDF, but that's really hard to get because the columns are not fixed, so it's really hard to get it in PDF. So we made an HTML, which you can download and then open in your browser and then print it. But it's not built for paper. It's built for a manager to log in and make it, put it on an iPad or on a laptop when you have a conversation with the advisor or with your director. Yeah, it's a monthly report because the data is every month it's being collected, so to say, and all the files are, although they are made every day, they're being read in once a month. That also has got to do with the detailed data. Some of the financial data is like we call it a moving target, which mutates every day. Let's say the debit, for example, or the credit, so to say, it mutates every day. So you have to make a date where you fix both the aggregated data and the moving detail data. And that means that when you make an addition, it's the same for everybody based on the same data, based on the same time interval. And that process is also in the entire organization on the 6 clusters, it's the same. So although finance, for example, has 6 decentralized financial teams supporting all the managers in that cluster, they work more or less the same. But their demands on the way it looks and the demands on especially the columns that they are using, that's really different. So that's where we had to build in all the flexibility for. Yeah, whether it's mandatory to use it or not. like I said, there are different roles, and one of the roles is the template owner, so to say, or that's also the one who is let's say responsible for the process. So when the template owner says start a new edition, then it creates all the editions at the same time. So it looks at on which organization is an I call it one or more advisor and is data, and then it creates an instance of that template, and that's called an edition of that organization. Then they get 2 weeks to do their analysis, and after the 2 weeks, the template owner can also push on the button and say, okay, right now it's ended, and now we make they're all available for all the managers. So whether it's all green, like I showed you, when you're done with the analysis, you can make it green. Whether it's green or not, it makes it green then by the override, so that after 2 weeks, every manager can log in and get a new report. The question is why not make use of the business object in Cognos, and that's because Cognos is in no way meant to support that process of analyzation and putting like the what we call actiepunten with their own deadlines, all all the information that the manager or the analyst creates for the manager and put there not as the real hard figures but as the text. It's really hard to do that in Cognos. So it's not made for the process. Cognos is really good in the old BI, so to say, list work and stuff like that. But the process of advising is something different. So you need to combine the more or less BI-ish tooling, which you can see is choosing a data file and creating a graphic from it or a table, but also support that process of analyzation and helping the manager. Why is it not using directly the data warehouse is the question. Why do we make use of CSV? That has to do with the file. We don't have the line that I showed you before. We have of course a highly secured environment. The municipality has more than 1,000 different source systems, of which about 100 are combined more or less in our central data warehouse. That got a lot of information that is really classified is maybe a bit too harsh, but it got a lot of information about individuals and stuff like that, which is absolutely private. So in our in the offset actually for the way that the architecture is made, and there are no direct lines in out available. So you have to make use of the FTP. So you have to make use of a data file, more or less, or whatever form. And CSV was a form that Mendix is quite good in manipulating. So we choose that one. The question is what kind of training program that we use. That's a good question. Right now we're in the middle of the implementation, and we start first with the financial, all the different financial teams, and they're already being from the beginning on, a couple of stakeholders from those teams are being put on this development. And right now we do extensive testing as well with them, so that they get used to use it, and get a little bit of ownership on it. And besides that, I'm gonna make some plain, basic, simple handout. But it's for the advisors. It's really easy. They just log in. They go to my tasks. They don't see all the difficult stuff about the template or the system or master data. They don't see it. They just see the editions, voortgang and my tasks. And they it's quite I call it. It's very easy to comprehend. So you actually know what you have to do when you get in there. It's more complicated for the template owners, and we make a good handout for them. How does the system manage merge conflicts when two people edit at the same report? I think Jean can tell you anything about that. So that's a nice bridge.
In what kind of sense? Do they mean like editing a template or editing a report? Because there's only one user assigned to one task, so those are different objects. So no, shouldn't be.